You want to play Warhammer 3? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This game is chock full of races. There are so many different races. There are also 3 different campaigns. The Lost God is the tutorial. It's actually kind of fun. I was surprised. And when I say fun, I mean it's informative and there is a story. You can give it a shot if you want. Realms of Chaos can be hit or miss. But boy, oh boy, all the choices in Immortal Empires. Whoa, 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 whoa. How are you going to ever decide what you're going to play? Well, that's what I'm here to help you with. Now, let's say you bought Total War Warhammer 3, the base game, and the base game only. It is possible for you to play Immortal Empires. This is a change they made a little bit back, but you can play Immortal Empires. That's the important part. Now you're stuck in this menu where you're like, what the heck? How am I going to choose who to play? Who's good? Who's not? You know, all those good things. Well, we're going under the assumption that you only have Warhammer 3. No DLC, none of the previous games, which are like DLC, but with 4 races and 2 lords each in general. So if you have Warhammer 2, you'll have Lizardmen, High Elves, Dark Elves, and Skaven. But each one, starts with their base races. But you have Warhammer 3. And you want to play. And you've tried playing a little bit, and you go into a campaign, and then there's so many mechanics, and there's so many different things for you to do, and you get overwhelmed and you don't know who's strong or how to play the race. Well, this is a basic guide. A basic guide in how to learn how to play the game. 1. Play Cathay. Their mechanics light. They have a couple real mechanics, but in general, their mechanics light. You can ignore most of their mechanics and be fine. When picking Cathay, you have the choice between Miao Ying and Zhao Ming. These are siblings. These are the children of the Dragon Emperor. They're pretty cool. They go around as little Yumis, and then the little Yumis turn into dragons. It's great. Well, I'd recommend playing either of them, honestly. They both have decent starts. Miao Ying might be simpler just because she is the faction leader. Now, playing as Miao Ying, I would build up archer stacks or gun stacks. Miao Ying over here in the faction effects, as we can see, gets 20% extra ammunition for all her armies. That's pretty good. And a little leadership when fighting demons of chaos, which there are quite a few nearby. She also lowers corruption, and she, as a lord, so with the troops in her army, she as a lord makes her missile units cheaper, which is pretty cool. It's a really good effect. But I recommend starting out with this faction. We'll jump into the game real fast. No. I'll show you the settings and explain the settings real fast. You can completely ignore this. Pick a difficulty you're comfortable with. If this is your first time playing, I'd recommend playing on normal and making the battle difficulty also normal. This way the game won't be too challenging, but it also won't be completely, messed up. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the end time events, so I turn off the end game scenarios when I play the game, but you can turn them on. This is the base default for the end game scenario. So turn 100 to turn 150, something will spawn. One of these events will spawn with the way I currently have it set up. You can also turn on diplomacy for the end game people who will declare war on you. If you don't turn that, if this is turned off, then they will just declare war on you, and you'll just be at war with them. You could have had a military alliance with the Wild Hunt, which is Wood Elves, and they'll declare war on you. And that's it. That's you're at war with the Wood Elves now, even though you were best friends with them. So you can have these on or off. It's not really super important either way. It only triggers on turn 100. You can also make it turn on from turn 10 to turn 20. So it's completely optional. This is your choice. I have it turned off because I'm just not fussed by it. Now, there's an advisor. He doesn't really help, in my opinion. He's not good advice. Ignore him. Battle realism, you can pop this on or not. It will just lock your camera and stop you from pausing. I don't normally play on this difficulty. It's interesting seeing the things. You can also choose what kind of stat modifiers, cheats, or the AI gets, or cheats you get. Now the AI gets a bunch of debuffs. So if you want to go and smack the AI, you can do that. But if you want to play base, which is what I would recommend, play normal. The AI won't get any cheats. You won't get any cheats. And then saving Iron Man just means the game saves every end turn and every battle, and I don't need to pay attention to it. So those are the base stats.
Show courage, show harmony, and show unity. This is the Cathayan way.
So we voted into the game as a Miao Ying campaign.
The Storm Dragon.
We get a short how to play. We see about harmony, legendary lord abilities, the Wu Jing compass over here, trade, which is the Ivory Road, and then that we need to defend these gates. Currently, we don't own them. But this is one of the Warhammer 3 light mechanic factions. You can ignore the Wu Jing compass if you want to. Other Cathayan lords will also set it. Yuan Bo, the DLC lord, is the only one who can set these specific directions. So if you want him to pick up one of these specific ones, if you want him to go and hopefully click on one of them, well then leave the Wu Jing compass alone. So you can ignore this or you can interact with this. You can ignore this or interact with this. If you're going to use this, best item to get first is Castle Drakenhof. You will need to recruit a caravan. This one has Logma riders and the Lord buffs them. This one buffs peasant units. It's pretty cool. This is the one I would get. But if you are going to do this mechanic, which you can completely ignore, I'd recommend going here first. You get an item that heals the person who's wearing that item. But you can ignore this mechanic. I didn't actually send that. So if you're not going to ignore it, I'd send your first caravan to Drachenhof. And when it reaches there, you will get an item that heals you. You will have to apply said item from in here into a lord or heroes item slots.
Enemies
This is our
everywhere.
legendary lord. She's pretty cool. She's got a bunch of cool skills. This is her magic line. The first spell she gets is an AoE heal. It heals up to 4 people. It's pretty cool. This is a passive trigger on casting. She has 2 passives because she does 2 types of magic. She does both life magic and yin magic. This is some of the yin magic that's in there, and this is some of the life magic that's in there. This is a single entity heal. This is an AoE damage spell. You also have your red line. This in general makes your army stronger. You have your blue line. This is campaign map. There are 2 sides to the gate. The campaign side and the battle map. And the blue line in general buffs the campaign side. The red line buffs the battle map side. The yellow line, which is her magic here, and this over here, these are both yellow when we get a skill point. These are her personal skills. These buff the Lord specifically. These are her special skills. They're really good. You should pick some of them up. And then up here, there's some defensive things, and this shares experience with other people, but you need to reach a certain rank to get it. Same with this. You need to be rank 12. There is a lot of stuff in the game. It can be a little overwhelming, but let's jump straight in. We've got Mage, who has a special ability to increase mobility. So this gives our Lord extra movement range. The more points we put into that, the more movement range we get. Fighting battles is how we get experience and how we level up. Now we can load in and fight this and take no damage, but this is really just I'm recommending this as your starting faction. So we're going to auto-resolve it and not load into the battle map. And we slap them real nice, right? We have 3 choices about what to take as an end event cool thingy. We also went and caught an item. We got an Astromancer's Spyglass, which is a pretty nice item. I like that item. I'm pretty happy with that. Since we didn't take that much damage besides on the Spearman, we're going to take the money. Because I like money. And then we're going to take Nun Li. And again, we could fight this. Fighting the battles is pretty cool. I would recommend fighting some battles. It's good fun. But this is a quick help you figure out who to play. You have taken your first settlement now. Your first province. We have Gunpowder Road. Full province. Now we have edicts. Here you can choose what you like, obviously. In general, though, I'd recommend getting some control, just so you can grow up and make your settlement as nice as you possibly could. If we go to Nungao, this is the building browser. This will show you all the buildings you can eventually build in here. It's pretty cool. You can, like I said, if you want to ignore Harmony, if you want to keep the different buffs, though, you're going to have to interact with that and balance your buildings inside settlements. To keep things basic, though, you can ignore this mechanic if you want to. You can use it if you want to. You can ignore this mechanic, or you can use it. If you're going to ignore it, though, I still recommend getting the Von Karstein Blade and maybe some of the other items. The first time you go to a settlement, it's pretty cool. Technology. There is a lot of technology and it can be a little overwhelming. You can take the time to figure it out, or you can go down the middle line and not think about it. Honestly, Miao Ying is very strong, and with her, I'd recommend going missile heavy, whether it be archers or something like gunpowder, because she, in general, buffs gunpowder. That's some gunpowder. That's some gunpowder. So you can have guns. Obviously, you can build whatever kind of army you want to make, but she specifically, and her faction specifically, makes range extra good. So I would go range with her. Her brother, indeed, who we can't see currently, he buffs melee, so with him you could go melee if you wanted. This game, however, does favor range a little bit. I don't know if this was helpful or not. Boobity boobity boos! Hey, play Gobas! Gobas are the best! Gobas! 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 Gobas!